Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Right. Oh, and well, there's no need for a microphone. I think I'll pass it on. But now that we've had something to lay foundations here, perhaps we will want to say how much we appreciate Father John's work with us. So, thank you. So perhaps I want to call on the chair of the parish council to start. Say a few words on behalf of the church. Jane.
Hello there everybody, thank you very much for coming. First of all, it's a wonderful occasion today, and I'd just like to say on behalf of the parish council, many thanks for your insightful leadership, John, and we all wish you well in South Street. Thank you.
Right, and the president to go with it. Okay. Well, I would want somebody to say, Father John Watkins, to say a few words. Where's Father John Watkins? Right.
Well, just to say a few very brief words. I think with John Deeny now for about 10 years, not including a few years student. And I have to say that I've thoroughly enjoyed all those years, and I've learned a lot, and I think we've learned something from each other. And
Who did that?
when two priests are working together and enjoy their work, then it's a wonderful thing to have, and I've enjoyed all the years I've worked here at the Blessed Sacrament. I think I'm continuing here, and that's all I really wanted to say. Thank you very much, John.
Okay, and then Ola, I think you're next.
Right, I'm next. Quick. I just had a brief reflection. As quite few of you saw my photos, well, not my photos, but photos that I collected right on the television in the corner here. And I was working on them for long hours recently, and I was quite amazed how much actually happened over that time. On all sorts of levels, maintenance in the church and changes and in liturgy or any sort of parish events, and I thought it's not just things that you did. There were plenty of those, but I think that you've got such an amazing gift of finding people to do the right things that they're able to do, and sort of delegating works, but then also I would say openness to inspiration, human as well as divine, and I think that thanks to that we've got all these things that actually happened over the years, and it's been such a blessing and such a privilege to have you here.
Well, thank you very much, Ola. I think you spoke so eloquently, and you spoke for all of us. I think if we wanted to begin to tabulate and list all the things that you have done and all the changes that you have introduced in this parish, I think we will be here for a few weeks. So the few things that Ola has said and a few other things that other people have mentioned, I think we cannot say thank you enough. Well, it just feels like you're going so far away. Well, look at that. I mean, he's only going 2 miles or a mile down the road. But an indication of how much we value your leadership, and both spiritual and other, that we've all turned up. And I think pretty much the parish has turned up just to come and say thank you. So we really wish you well 2 miles down the road. But also thank you very much for everything you've done. One more thing to say, that we've always had a living church, a caring church, but I thought the caring bit was probably the best, one of the best bits of your achievements. I should specifically mention the twinning arrangement that you initiated with the church in Ghana. And I must say, not too long ago, I happened to be in that parish and they were still asking for you to come and visit. I mentioned you were leaving the parish and they were pretty unhappy. Somebody wanted to write to the bishop and I actually dissuaded them. And so you have touched hearts beyond Exeter. So thank you very much, and I'm sure they'll be in touch. Gary too. Of course, thank you very much to Gary.
Actually, I've listed all the things I've done while I've been in the parish. Well, really, I just want to say a few thank yous this evening. Firstly, to those who've prepared this evening, because although I tried to have a surprise look when I came tonight, but I did sort of know that something was going on, but it has kind of been quite, what do I say, much more than I expected. It's really lovely, and just to thank all those who've organised tonight. I suspect, I don't really know exactly who did, but I think probably Leslie, the Catholic Women's League, Jane, Anne, I think probably. Well, I'm sorry if I left you out. Just fantastic. Everybody who arranged this and brought food, and also Ivy, who prepared the fantastic cake with a bicycle. That on it, by the way, I don't play the violin. That was the closest you could get to what looks like a guitar. And I don't play that very well either. And anyway, so if I could just say a few words of thanks, it could be a little bit patient because it'd probably take a bit longer. But firstly, to say thank you to you, everybody here and everybody in the parish, because when I came here, I really didn't know what to expect, and a priest doesn't, you know, I didn't know Heavy Tree at all, or Exeter, and you know, immediately, people say when they come to Heavy Tree, they feel immediately welcome and at home, and that's what I felt like too, I have to say, and although we nearly got off to a rocky start, I do. Because the very first Sunday, and you know, I like preached a homily and just tried to include a few personal words about myself and who I was, and I thought, well, I'll just put a little bit of a tease in there, you know, because I'm from Plymouth and these from Exeter, and I said, oh, you know, I just better warn you that I'm a Plymouth Argyle supporter. Well, it went down like a brick, you know. And I've recovered from it. It took about 6 months to get over that. So if anybody asks me who I support now, which team I support, I say Exeter Chiefs. But one of the great things about this parish is just how everybody's involved. You know, it's not. I mean, we've got a few organisers here, but it's everybody contributes. You know, and I think the bishop thinks that. I think Bishop loves Exeter, because he knows that there is so much life and faith and energy in this community here in Exeter. There are just one or two particular thanks on here. This is always probably a mistake to do this, but I did want to just Father John Watkins, because obviously and Father Harry and Father Jonathan gets a lot of attention because we're the priests who are moving, but Father John Watkins is staying here, and I echo everything Father John has said, because it's been a joy to work with him, and we never know who we're going to work with, you know, you never know how it's going to work out. And we've been covering 2 parishes, so a lot of his sort of energy has been at Topsham as well. But I'd like to thank him for his fidelity, for his hard work, for his generosity, for his support of me, for his particular work and mission with the people people who are sick, people who are vulnerable, people who are elderly, and it's a wonderful ministry that he's done there. So, I thought you'd gone actually. but he's behind me. And also because you're present, you can go away on holiday now and again. And also Leslie, I don't know where you've gone, Leslie, but Leslie's now been working over a year in the parish, which I find incredibly difficult to believe, but that's true. I think unless you're in the presbytery, it's very difficult to know how much comes our way. And Leslie is on the front line there, and she treats it all so efficiently and with great joy, with great humour, and I've never heard Leslie complain about anything. And believe you me, there's plenty you could complain about. Maybe I've just been around not long enough, but Leslie, thank you. You're doing a marvellous job, and thank you. And to Marion as well, of course, here behind me. Marion, of course, I've worked with for 12 years. She worked in the parish for 25 years. And I think we all know what good work Marion did over those years. And for a continued friendship, Marion, as well, which is great. So, Marion, thank you very much as well. I could go on all night, but there are a couple of other people I just wanted to mention, and that was people a little bit in the background, I suppose, in some ways, but they've really been at the heart of things with the development of what's quite a lot has happened in maintenance and grounds and buildings and stuff like that. And although it's maintenance in a way, it's still the mission of the church, because it kind of such an attractive, sort of setup now. And that is Anne Burden, who's our parish treasurer. And, Anne's over there. And I went into the, this is typical, isn't it? I went into the office this morning, parish office, to do something. Anne was there. She frightened the life out of me. I didn't know anybody was in there. And it's typical, because Anne is kind of, she just does so much work behind the scenes. It's incredible. And with the buildings, and the same for Trevor, wherever Trevor is. Trevor as well. Trevor with the buildings often has taken the flak when there's been flak. But, together we made a good team, I think, and we've sort of worked through everything together. And it's all gone pretty well, I must say, pretty smoothly. I'm delighted to see my family here. Terrific support, always. They always come to any significant occasions. And, of course, it's not been that an easy year, with Mum being ill, but you all prayed for her. And I know you did, because Canon George asked you to. And, well, you can see her now. I mean, she's better health than all the rest of us put together. So it's good to see all my family, and I'm very appreciative of all your love and support. Just sort of one last thing. So, Alan, somebody asked me this morning, what is the most satisfying thing that's happened to you while you've been in the church, we've been here? And, there's lots of different things, but I think that probably the one thing that stands out is how much you is yourselves. This is such a homely parish. I think I've said that already. It's a very homely parish. It's like a family. But how much you, the parish, have changed. The people have changed. But when I came here, I think the vast majority of people were like me, British, Irish, white, red. The vast majority of people. Well, since then, well, you only have to look around, don't you? That we come from all over. Every tribe and tongue and people and nation, as we say. We're such an inclusive. I've got to say, you're rich and poor, young and old, from every nation. I think it's just like you're probably the most inclusive communion in Exeter or nearby. And it's just fantastic to see, and I think it's a wonderful symbol. And I always remember one of our first parish council meetings when Trevor was chairing it, our very first parish council meetings. And Michael proposed that we have an international meal, and that we all bring food from our different countries and what have you. And we've continued to do that. That from that one proposal on the international mass, that has been such a key part of the parish life. And I know it's only once a year, but it sets a tone of, that this is a good thing. It's not only just happened to us, well, it has just happened to us, but it's something that we welcome and something that we celebrate. And I think that gives a strong message, particularly today when there's so much movement around the world, that speaks a lot about what the church is about, or what our church is about, what the Catholic Church is about. So That's been fantastic. And Michael, for your input into that, which has been massive, thank you. I'm nearly finished now. Just to say that I've had a couple of glasses of wine, I think. The other thing was just to say that tomorrow I will say a few words of thanks at the end of Mass, because for people who contribute to the liturgy, because obviously the Mass, the Sunday Eucharist, is the heart and soul of our parish life, so that's really important. But I did want to say that I'm delighted that the priest you've got coming here next is Father Jonathan Stewart. He's such a lovely priest, he's such a good man and a good priest, and I'm delighted for you and delighted for all of us in Exeter actually, because I think he'll just be the right priest to work with Father John here, you know, in the future. It'd be fantastic. And very finally, obviously to thank the Lord, because he has brought us all this way. He's blessed us. I think this parish is so richly blessed in so many ways. He has blessed us, has been blessed over all these years, all those who've gone before us are now with the Lord. He's blessed us in so many ways. He's blessed me in so many ways in being here. So I thank the Lord that he's brought us safe thus far and will continue to lead us on. So thank you very much. Where are those tissues?
Well, thank you, Father John. I think we've said enough thank yous now. We won't be able to top that. So we only say, we have to continue saying thank you all the time. Thank you.